Hey, wanna see a magic trick? Hey!
What magic is this?
Pretty impressive, huh? Definitely not the magic of editing, no, that's real magic. And this is an avatar myself I did a while ago, with these trash colored pencils. So what I want to go through today and take you along with me in the process is take this cartoon self-avatar thing and draw it again while doing it with actually good materials and doing a couple of stylistic changes. What you see me do on screen right now is apply a LOOMIS-ish method to draw the overall shape of the head. Defining that shape is very important, and the LOOMIS method, I find, when you distort it a little bit to fit your style, a very good way of doing it. I'm gonna link in the description a video on how to learn it if you're interested. Just click the link and come back there after that. Now that I laid down the basic shape, just put facial features on top of it. The lines you saw me draw for the eyebrows is a technique I use quite often, simply to define the mood and the direction of the facial expression. Drawing both eyes correctly in a 3/4 view is a little bit challenging because you need to have some degree of difference between the two because one is further away, but you need to place them right in coordination with one another and make them the right size, which can be a little bit challenging, but I think I got it right on my second try there. Detailing the sketch a little further and defining all of the facial features to get that pretty cool smiley facial expression thing. And moving on to the hair. Okay, so this character avatar thing is based on me and my hair is a mess. I cannot get it to look right no matter what I do, so I just drew a shape on my head, and I think it turned out pretty alright. Now I define a couple of shadows just as a warm-up to when I'm gonna actually shade with the colors to sort of get in my mind where they're gonna go, and add a tiny little bit of texture to the hair to get some dimension to it. That's pretty nice. And now let's construct the body of the character. Same thing as always. Keep in mind what an actual human body looks like and simplify it in shapes. You cannot draw cartoons if you can draw real life, because a cartoon is just a simple communication of what someone would recognize as something they already saw in real life. So this weird shape I got for my torso, you can see a little circle in the middle of it. This is supposed to represent the ribcage and some other construction thing I did. I studied quite a lot of anatomy. And now with just basic shapes, like tubes for the arms, I'm able to communicate something that I'm then gonna refine into something instantly recognizable. I learned this over the time of just practice and like good mindset and stuff. I'm still very much a student. It's really important to keep a student mindset at all times, simply to keep growing. Refining the basic shapes, changing that line of the shoulder to indicate the joint a little bit better, and adding some clothing, because drawing me and myself as a cartoon and naked is probably not a really good idea for a YouTube video, is it? There you go, there you can see me doing 3 circles on the shirt. It's simply a little technique to draw perspective. I do the space that the letters take up on the shirt before doing the actual letters. It requires a little bit of knowledge of perspective, which I'm really not that great at. I'm focusing on learning this at the moment. And of anatomy. I think it turned out pretty okay, you know what? Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what you can see me do right now is a little trick I do a lot with the kneaded erasers. These are really satisfying to mold around, and you can lighten your sketch very effectively with them before moving on to the inks. My gigantic head getting in the way again, but it's just one time, so it's fine. And it doesn't matter, because now I have my awesome brush pen in hand, I'm inking everything about the face. This brush pen is really good. Its soft tip allows it to be incredibly versatile. I'm gonna put the name of it, I don't really remember it, in the description if you want to get one for yourself or something. Defining the hair, putting a little bit of texture in it, as well as in the eyebrows, and that's it. Moving on to the body. It's a pretty straightforward process. I didn't sketch the fold lines on the shirt, I just kind of winged it. I know where they're supposed to be, so I just did it very naturally with my brush pen. There I inked the letters on the shirt, and you can see that initially I wanted them to be sort of like a big black outline with some sort of color, but I gave up that idea a little later, went them just full black, as I move on to doing my stuff with my 0.4 fine line. This tool complements really well the brush pen because it's not as expressive, but it's very simple, just one simple line. So I do some of the details like the pen behind the ear and some good old-fashioned hatching. With the layer on color, you can't really see the texture of the hatching, unless I intentionally make it so, but it will definitely be a good shading method. And finally, adding a little bit of a thick outline with a beautiful brush pen around the entire character to ground him around the paper as an overall shape and silhouette. Pretty cool. Erase the sketch very quickly. It's not that difficult because I lightened it earlier with the needed eraser. Look at this, the final inked result. I think it looks pretty good, you know what? A significant improvement compared to the last one. It's nice to acknowledge your progress by doing something like this, I feel. I like the stylistic changes I made. These are my pencils. They're pretty good. I'm gonna put the name of them in the description as well. And I start off with the skin tone. So the process of coloring this character was a bit of a challenge for me. It really was not as expected at first. It got a lot more muddy than I thought, especially with the skin tone. You can see me spending a lot of time on it. And I just didn't like the way it turned out, but instead of just giving up and doing something else, I actually thought, you know what, I'm just gonna push forward and see what happens. And I did. This is a bit of a, how to say that, artistic discipline. It's something I think you should develop. Discipline in general is an incredible skill to develop, and I think everybody should be looking to develop it, but in art as well, because, well, it didn't look good at first. Right now, I'm starting the shading with a simple pencil, and it's at this point that I started to dislike what I had. But dislike is just a temporary feeling. You can't let that control what you create. Because, well, if I stop creating just because of a feeling, it's kind of a dumbass idea because creating is what I like. So I'm not gonna stop what I like because I dislike something right now, right? Yeah, well, I had to go through that process to come to that exact realization, so I'm taking you along with me on the ride. Yeah, at that point when I'm shading with that brown pencil, I really don't like what's going on in front of me. I think it's too muddy, too textured, and I'm just overworking the piece at this point. In traditional art, you can't really undo anything, so I'm just trying to get some pigment off where I can, and it's really not looking good. At this point, I'm really hesitating, whereas, like, am I gonna continue or not? And I just decide, fuck it, let's do it. And yeah, continuing to overwork a little bit. You know, I still have a lot to learn when it comes to colors. Yeah, at this point the skin tone was a little bit better, but still way more muddy than I thought it would be. I did a little bit deeper shadows with a black pencil, blended it all together with the basic skin tone. You can see me cleaning up my pencils on the piece of paper on the side because actually there's a lot of wax, so the other colors get on top of it. Yeah, at this point this is just sort of overworking, and I quickly realized it, so I just move on to first the eyes and then the other blue part, the shirt. At this point I'm fully just focused. I got my focus back. I'm not giving a damn about thinking that the skin tone isn't that good, even though at this point it's actually kind of decent. I'm just focused, no thoughts going on through my mind, doing what I like to do, creating art. This is a really good sort of reward of artistic discipline. It's just that ability to focus and do what you love regardless of your temporary feelings. It's a skill I've been working on developing for a while. I'm still very much at a lot of things to develop in it, obviously. You're never done learning. And I think you should do it as well. You know what? Just push on some artwork you think are not going to be good, and you might be surprised in the end, like I was pleasantly with this artwork. Shading in and finishing off that shirt, I spent well less time than on the face, even though it's a large area. And even got a little bit fancy, adding a little bit of purple in the deeper shadows. I still overwork the skin tone because I'm feeling insecure about it, but I just decided, fuck it, let's move on. Hey, Ice Sadly. Move my canvas too low, so trust me, I'm doing the belt. And like the pants, the black jean things. Yeah, I have the tendency of moving my canvas all over the place, especially during the coloring process. So I'm gonna have to fix this for the videos to be better for you guys. And there you go, here it is. The trash black pen is coming back, and in combination with the actually good black pencil, I can get a pretty convincing looking, how do you say that again? Yeah, convincing looking jeans, there you go. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, by the way. I have absolutely no script, I'm just winging it, and English is not my native language, so it's a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna learn. And talking about learning, I'm doing the hair, and this, okay, the screen turned black, the music stopped, you're probably wondering what the fuck happened. Well, I completely lost the last like 5 minutes of the footage. So that is very sad. Yes, indeed, very, very sad. I'm just gonna show you the final result, I guess, because I think it was pretty cool, but yeah. You know, just 5 minutes of footage, kinda sad, but not the end of the world. Here it is. I think it's actually kinda cool. The reward of developing my discipline and just pushing forward, I guess. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be using that as my new profile picture here and as well on my Fiverr profile. If you want me to design a character for you, click the link in the description, I'll do it pleasingly, and have a nice rest of your day.